We are given in number 55 a linear function, right? It's linear. I've got x just to the first power, and this is of the form y equals mx plus b. So we want to sketch the graph. So y equals mx plus b. B in this case is 4. So we know we're going to cross the y-axis at 4. So let's put a point here on the y-axis at 4. And then let's use the slope to get another point. Now the slope, you remember how this goes. The bottom number tells you the change in the input, the change in the x, that's the horizontal. The top number tells you the change in the output, that's the vertical. So I always do the bottom first. It doesn't matter which way you go. But I'm going to start at this point, and then I'm going to go to the right 5, right, because it's positive. So I'm going to go to the right 5, and then look at that numerator. That numerator is negative 2. So I'll put the negative 2. That means go right 5, down 2. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 2. I'll put a point here. Now, as best I can, I'll pass a line through those 2 points. I got a straight edge to help me here, so I'll pass a line through those points and claim that that is the graph of that line. Now, we're also supposed to say, what is the domain and the range? Well, the domain, this is the set of all the input values. Now look at your graph. The inputs go where? All the way to the left, all the way to the right, right? As you go to the left, the graph keeps going up. As you go to the right, the graph keeps going down. So we can pick any value for x that we like. So we can go from negative infinity to positive infinity. And in fact, the range is going to be the same thing, right? If you look at the lower to upper, I mean, you keep going down, but it is going down to negative infinity. So the range is exactly the same. In 57, let's graph this function here. Now this is a function. F of x is 2. And now you notice that there's no x's here. It's like y is equal to 2. So the output is 2. It doesn't matter what x is. There's no x's here. This function is independent of x, which means it doesn't matter what x is. So for any one of these x values, no matter which one, it says that the output is 2. So what we're going to get here is a horizontal line passing through 2 on the y-axis. So as best I can, I will draw a horizontal line passing through 2 on the y-axis. And you see what's happening here? No matter which x value you pick, any x value you pick, what is the y value? The y value is 2. So whatever the horizontal is, the vertical is 2. What about this one here? X is negative 5. So if I come over to x equals negative 5, now there's no y here. When x is negative 5, y could be anything. So I'm going to pass a vertical line through negative 5 on the x-axis. And what it tells me is that when x is negative 5, y could be anything. So this is not a function, right? Because one value of x gives me infinitely many values of y. One value of x gives me more than one value of y. So this part here is not a function, but this one certainly is. Passes the vertical line test, and whatever I choose for x, I get exactly one y. Always happens to be 2. And now for our function, what is the domain? Well, the domain, this is a collection of all the input values. So the domain, right, I'm going to say here that the domain, that's going to go from negative infinity to infinity. I can pick any number all the way to the left, any number all the way to the right. And what is the range? Well, the range, these are the outputs. And I get only one output. So the output that I get is just 2.